Hello everyone, welcome to a new video for Chainlink, Aave and Avax price prediction based on Elliott wave analysis. We're gonna start with the link here on the daily or 4 days chart here where we are looking at the all-time history for the Chainlink where we see a 1, 2, 3, 4 and a 5 toward the upside. So it's a good chart, I would say, very bullish direction towards higher prices, which is a very decisive, and we're looking of course for even much more higher 1-to-1 fib level where you have an impulse A, B and a C potentially to take the 1-to-1 fib level. The wave B is potentially finished as W, X and a Y, X and a Z, very complex structure here for a wave B or a wave 2. And in this case scenario, the wave A, of course, has been finished already there. Now, that is, of course, another possibility for wave B, where you might have an A and an A, B, C, D, and an E in a triangle, where the wave B can finish exactly with the wave E here, and then start the move toward the upside for the 1-to-1 fib level, $69 taken from the A to the B to the C, of course, in case, of course, we get this triangle. Now, in the case of bullish, we are, of course, there is a bullish scenario where you have finished, of course, the wave 1 here. You have the complex structure for a wave 2 rather than a wave B. And you are looking here at a wave 1. And potentially the wave 2 is still unfolding somehow, a very corrective and a very choppy. But it can still have one more leg towards the downside, probably, or even finishing, of course, as running flat, because running flat can finish as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So even the wave 5 did not took this low, it can finish up, of course, as a running flat with 5 waves in case we get one more low, finishing the structure impulsively without taking the low. I would say even this can unfold a bullish scenario, continuation for a wave 1, ABC for a wave 2, and then simply continuation towards the 1.618, $108 for link. This is a daily. Now the highest possibility, of course, is going for higher prices. Anyway, after this very complex structure, you can move as A, B, and as C. This is, of course, the highest possibility as well for the corrective charts here, or the corrective scenarios, which it might be 3 ways to the upside, or you are in the bullish 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5. Now the triangle is very far scenario yet. It's not a priority. The priority is, of course, for this move here, whether you are in a wave C or a wave 3. Now let's move inside this area on the 2 hours chart to see what is going on in this corrective wave. So on the 2 hours chart here, after moving towards the downside, basically you are looking here still to something very corrective, which is looking W, X, and a Y potentially finished here as a wave A, meaning if this is corrective, and after a trend toward the downside, you're still potentially looking for lower. Now, if this lower prices unfolding here kind of like something impulsive, I doubt it so much, because if you have 1, 2, wave 3, wave 4 interfered with the zone 1. If you are in something as diagonal, 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5, well, it's very rare case, because of course this is an expanding diagonal here and not a leading diagonal, which is very rare case scenario. And by the way, for diagonal, you see here 3 waves, while you see an impulse here, and then again you see kind of like diagonal there. So all the waves are very different. We cannot really consider any kind of impulsive or motive waves even. I believe this is, of course, another W complex structure, W, X, and a Y, and of course can be finished here. It can be truncated. It can be related to this move toward the downside, and currently we are unfolding something bullish for higher prices. So let's move inside this level to see what are the answers that we might get from there. Basically, what we are looking at here is a potential 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5, probably finishing wave 1, or of course never forget that it can be a wave A, B, and a C as well in this case scenario. Meaning, in this case, where you are looking for a wave 1 here, you would like to reach the wave 2 0.38 minimum fib level and minimum fib time. which it was not taken, of course, as you can see, very shallow wave 2, and then we start to move impulsively towards the upside, opening a question mark, what is going on in this area. Therefore, you start to think that this wave here, corrective wave, belongs much more for a wave B rather than a wave 2, right? And in this case scenario, you have to consider, of course, that there is a potential of an A, B, and a C that it might unfold toward the upside, of course, to take the 1-to-1 here, taken from the wave A to the wave B, hitting the $16.24 link. This wave C can unfold as a 1, 2, and you're looking potentially for 3, 4, and a 5 toward the upside. Now here we can see something kind of like impulsive 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. However, after this we saw, of course, again a move toward the downside, which is not really nice. And this formation here is looking, of course, like an ABC. The wave C is finished kind of as a diagonal. Now, of course, you can consider 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5 also diagonal, so it can be an impulse. But what should we do with this one here? So if this is 1, 2, 3, wave 4 interfering again, which of course reducing the possibility yet again to move toward the upside. But it doesn't mean that we're done yet. Potentially, you still can have, of course, something unfolding here, like potential, for example, wave 1 from the zigzag here, wave 1, wave 2, or maybe even this is belonging to a wave 2. In case we get a little bit lower, you can still get, of course, kind of like a diagonal towards the upside. However, the possibility right now is a little bit showing some weakness still, even for the bearish and for the bullish. So as you can see, the price is very sideways, very confusing, and of course the uncertainty is leading the chart here a little bit. However, in a bigger time frame, on the daily, on the 2-hour chart, we can see clearly that the price is, of course, still bullish and looking for higher, of course, despite what is going on the lower time frame. However, I would say even you have to consider in this case scenario that you might have like kind of 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5 toward the upside. This is a bigger leading diagonal. You might have a zigzag here, correction, another zigzag for wave 3, correction, and then wave 5 unfolding. And this, all of it, might transform to a big, of course, leading diagonal, having wave 2, and then 3, 4, 5 toward the upside. So many possibilities, I believe. Yes, it is a little bit confusing. Don't forget that, of course, this is giving a lot of uncertainty. There is even like another scenario here, A, B, C, D, E, right, as a triangle, which it can unfold also wave C toward the upside. Don't forget this triangle here. All right, so yeah, a lot of scenarios. So I'm gonna, of course, sum it up, guys. So the first scenario is, of course, that we talk about it is that you have a wave 1 and then wave 2 not finished yet. You would like to take the 0.38, meaning like an A, B, and a C. The wave C has to finish as diagonal here for a wave C to take a wave 2, right? So preferably that the wave 2 is taken there. So this is the first one. And after it, of course, you would like to move toward the upside. In case you are in an A, B already finished here, you are looking therefore for 1, 2 potentially, and something unfolding here can be diagonal as well, and then moving toward the upside simply, of course, for a wave C. And in this case scenario, it might mean that you might move for higher exactly from this price. The final scenario is, of course, a finished wave 1 or a wave, I would say only wave A, because this is a triangle. And you know, as a triangle A, B, C, D, and a E, it is not allowed to have a wave 2 as a triangle, meaning, of course, moving toward the upside with the wave C. And as you can see, as sum up here, we can see that the move toward the upside still have a lot of high potential, but the only question mark is, do we still have one more low? Are we gonna hit a wave 2 for 0.38 in the fib time and then moving up, or are we gonna move up directly from there? This is a question mark, and therefore I would say I'm not interested in selling anymore, whether that is a potential for lower or not. If it's gonna go lower, I'm gonna simply wait for that low and, of course, to move toward the upside. Of course, no financial advice again, guys. Yep, that was it for Link. Let's move for Aave. So Aave is also a very interesting chart, a very nice impulse toward the upside that we can see a 1 2 3 4 5. The direction of the market is looking for higher prices. Whether you are in a wave A or a wave 1, you're looking for an ABC or a wave 1 2 3. Higher possibility on the daily here is going for the ABC, and that because you did not reach yet the 0.38 even on the all-time history for a wave 2, right? The wave 2 would love, of course, to be three structure waves hitting the 1-to-1 fib level $26 and then moving toward the upside, which is very far possibility. Honestly, from $200 to $26, this is very far one. So I don't believe that Aave can comes back or take even this low. So I believe that Aave might be, of course, in the move towards the upside here, also especially with those double 1-2s, and we're looking for 3 4 5 4 5 for higher prices. In this case scenario, I'm looking, of course, for a target. The following target can be given, of course, from the wave A to the wave B here. You might have, of course, the wave C as a zigzag. I prefer no logarithmic fib levels here, so preferably only to have first, of course, the linear fib level. I would say 762 is a very interesting target for Aave. It can be 1 2 1 2, wave 3 4 5. Even, of course, it can be an extended wave toward the upside, hitting the 1.618, of course, which is 1,200 for Aave as well. Very interesting. Now, of course, we always want to consider even the correction. What if this is a zigzag, an impulse, correction, impulse, and you're looking still for something lower? It can be, of course, this is a possibility as an A, B, and a C, as I mentioned before. But before even getting to this very low possibility, I would consider, of course, the triangle first: A, B, C, D, and a E, and therefore moving again for a wave C toward the upside. Meaning right now, if you are in a wave C toward the downside for this triangle, you would like to see definitely a zigzag ABC, where potentially you are looking here at a diagonal toward the downside. Let's move inside it to see what is going on there. On the 2 hours chart for Aave, we are looking at the following price after all, and we cannot really consider this is kind of like a move toward the downside because, yeah, if you have a diagonal here, 1 2 3, the wave 3 is so much longer than wave 1, and the wave 5 is also longer than the wave 3. Therefore, no motive wave here. It's a W, X, and a Y corrective, and moving toward the upside impulsively. And here we go, where we see 1 2 1 2 3 4 and a 5 in the blue count to finish wave 3, 4 and a 5 to finish wave 1 or a wave A. After this, we are looking here at simply choppy corrective wave, where you have ABC here as a zigzag, of course, and you have a kind of like an ABC, potentially here A, B, and a C to finish up, of course, correctively toward the upside, finishing finally with a wave C expanding flat. And obviously that this expanding flat was your separation between two structures, that it might unfold toward the upside. This ABC here can be your wave B or your wave 2. Higher possibility again is for the wave B, and that because we did not reach the 0.38. But I would say this is not 100% because only on the logarithmic chart this happened. On the linear chart, you're very close, of course, for the 0.38, which I consider it, of course, to it can be, yeah. So I reconsider that it can be like a wave 2 since it is very close to the 0.38. However, preferably that it touch it, but yeah, probability also goes very high for a wave B, guys. So A, B, and a C toward the upside. Might unfold as well. Your target is $510 for Aave here, in case only you are in an ABC. This wave C probably has started to unfold toward the upside. As you can see, you have kind of like 1 2 3 4 5. A possibility for a wave 1 is there here, but the problem again, the wave 2 was not hit. So we are even like very somehow bullish for Aave. Even we are not reaching the 0.38 fib level for a wave 2 in any of this price action. The price is keeping going high and high. without reaching the requirement for a wave 2. However, if we are still looking for a wave 2 here, you might be, of course, in an ABC. A, B, and a C toward the downside. This expanding flat might hit the 1.38, 1.618 in confluence with this blue zone under the 0.38. So this is your short-term wave 2, and then moving toward the upside impulsively, of course, which it might unfold, of course, very high prices, guys. In case that you are in a wave A here and you're looking for a wave B over there, so we have to, of course, to consider this always as an ABC. We have to be careful that you might have here also, again, A, B, and a C toward the upside, okay? This wave B is done and finished over there, and you are looking right now at a move towards higher prices for a wave C. And here we go. You see a 1-2 here potentially unfolding for even this wave 3, 4, and a 5. Okay, so I would say here you have 1, 2, and then 3, 4, and a 5 to finish, of course, exactly this wave 3. Currently, this is looking somehow impulsive as well. 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5. No invalidation yet. So I would say to make it like much more clearer what is going on here and so on, let's take this as invalidation of bullish. Okay, if we take this price without finishing a wave 5 here, which can be, of course, the wave 3, continuation toward the upside, like 1, 2, 3, or I would say here 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5 for wave 3, then for 5. Yeah, so we have to be careful. 275 is, of course, invalidation, meaning, of course, opening the scenario for this wave 2. To recap here as well, in Aave, anyway, we are looking at a huge impulse toward the upside. Okay, we have a wave 1, we have an expanding flat did not took the 0.38, well, probably can be wave 2 on the linear, but we're moving toward the upside directly. Now, this area is facing also some issues with the wave 2, but still very bullish, of course, where you might be in ABC and then moving for higher. You can be as well, of course, after this move toward the upside, you can be in a wave C, or you can be in a 1, 2 here and moving for, of course, higher. Sorry, the wave C, of course, is moving from there. This is a wave 2. Yeah. The wave C is already unfolding for higher from there. You meaning, of course, simply continuation, and the invalidation is 275. Very simple, guys. Okay, so we have to watch this price. If the price still above it, meaning we're moving for higher. If we break it, we move for this one, but still bullish, of course, at the end. Yep, that was it for Aave. Okay. Let's move for the next one, which is Avax. Avax on the daily is is a little bit not like Aave and Link, but still fine. Of course, it looks like he kind of like impulsive, but the long range here is also a little bit corrective triangle. So we have to be careful. You might be in a wave A, you have a wave B, you might be here in a big wave 1, 2, big wave 2. Yeah, and then moving toward the upside. The wave 2 should be an A, B, and a C. The wave C has to hit the $13 as, of course, a 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5. So potentially you might still have one more low, and then, of course, moving toward the upside. In case you are in a triangle A, B, C, D, and an E, okay, so the wave E can still be unfolding here as a zigzag. This is your zigzag for a wave E, and you might move towards the downside. Now, in case that you are in a wave 1 and wave 2, you're looking, of course, for 1, 2, the same target, of course, for higher prices. And I believe, of course, here the scenarios are shifting a little bit much more for bullish. And that because, of course, this is looking somehow still corrective and still looking for higher prices sooner or later. I would give, of course, the higher possibility here for a wave A at least, and you got a wave B here once you finish this 1-to-1 fib level and you move for higher prices. Let's move inside it, of course, to see inside this area what is going on the 2 hours chart here. On the 2-hour chart, we see, of course, here a potential with that was an old scenario here where we might be in diagonal, but still working, by the way. the diagonal is simply lower because you took the 886, and this is a perfect for a wave 2, by the way. Very interesting. So basically, this is a big correction toward the downside. Obviously, everything is kind of like not so much overlapping, but yeah, we have to be careful as well. It can be, let me check here. I mean, I know have the count, but I always check again. 1 2 1 2 3 4 5 4 5. Well, yeah, but the wave 3, what's going on with it? This is your wave 3, by the way. Yeah, 1 2 3 4 and a 5. Um, and then you have 145. Yeah, that's why we don't have an impulse, because if you have an impulse, again, it's good to explain it, guys, because you have double 1 2s here, and you have 1 2 3 4 5 for a wave 3, and then 145. What is your second 4 5? So you cannot call an impulse. Definitely it is a W, X, and a Y here for a big W, or let's say ABC for a W, and you have an X and ABC for a wave Y. Taken here and finished a wave C. Okay, so in this case scenario, we are looking again for something corrective after it, right? So we see something corrective as W, X, and a Y, which is not nice for the bulls. Of course, if you are looking for something bullish, this is very corrective. But the only way to be bullish here is, of course, a diagonal where you have a zigzag, impulse A, you have a flat here for a B, and you have a wave C, zigzag to finish wave 1, a corrective channel for a wave 2, and you are looking therefore for a wave 3 toward the upside in a diagonal. Otherwise, you simply want to take the low, of course, one more low as explained on the daily, and it might, of course, unfold something for higher later on. On the lower or on the micro time frame here, let's go 1 hour chart. So basically in this area, I see also kind of like a formation of a leading diagonal, guys. So this is a very clear leading diagonal. I would say in case it is unfolding like a 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5. The wave 4 is of course even lower. So 4 and a 5. Very interesting. This trend is still looking for higher, and I believe this is like 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5 to finish a wave 1, and then wave 2, and then simply continuation for higher prices, guys. So honestly, I see right now the altcoin are very close to unfold something bullish, guys. I know that the things are still a little bit boring and look choppy in the lower time frame and corrective, but you know, in general, we are in a bull run. We are set and ready to kick off. But there is some uncertainty here, and maybe it needs just some time to get much more confidence in the market with this wave 5, where we start to see, of course, a diagonal here, and then having 1 2, and then simply kicking off toward the upside. That was it for Link, Aave, and Avax. Thank you for watching. Thank you for your likes and comments. See you in the next one. Bye bye.